Morning, Dave, Rolling Springs Ranch. Starting to think it's a full-time job owning a farm. Can't fix one thing before another thing breaks. But today we're working on the Woods RM600 finish mower. I had seized a bearing on that spindle. Basically I just jacked this thing up enough to get the impact gun under there, remove the whole spindle, just make it easier, you know. Couldn't get the blades off. There isn't a whole lot of information if the threads were right hand rotation, left hand threads, whatever. After fighting with it more, they are left hand threads. So right now this spindle is locked up. Trying to figure out the best course of action. Obviously, if money was no object, I would just throw a whole new spindle on, call it a day. But just trying to figure out how it comes apart. I got the bearings and I got the seals. I thought there would have been some clip that would have held it in place. You can see that seal is bad. It was just solid packed dirt, grime. And again, I never knew there were Zerk fittings there to grease. So when I change the blades on the other two, I'm going to make sure that those bearings are smooth, and I'll hit everything up with grease, and hopefully that part of it's done. As far as the 12-volt conversion goes on the 53 Golden Jubilee, yesterday I primed and painted the alternator, the brackets and stuff like that to match. So haven't done anything with that yet, but that's probably coming next once I get the finish mower done. So again, I apologize if I sound a little hoarse. Been under the weather the past few days, and just trying to push through. So let's see how this thing comes apart. Can't do any more damage. Well, I think one of the hardest parts is trying to find all your tools needed for a job, especially when you're trying to build a house and you try to keep your professional tools in the box, and they come out, they don't get put back in. So what we're doing, try tapping it. Obviously there's got to be a reason that spindle axle is there, and I'm thinking a clip. I looked at the breakdown diagram, I don't see anything. So what I did was I pierced this seal cover or seal with a pick. At that point, I'm going to take a screw it down in there. Then I'm going to take some side cutters and try to walk this seal out. I'm hoping I find a C-clip in there that will drop everything out, and then hopefully we could put some new bearings in, put new seals back in it. I'm pretty sure I ordered seals, but you never know. It always seems like you come up one short for the job. Yeah. Alright, so the old screw and side pliers did not work, so had to get a little violent with it. So eventually got it out. Now we're looking in there. Well, it's got some grease in there, but I don't see what's holding it in place. So I guess we'll have to dig a little deeper. Alright, so we got the top seal out. It still wouldn't drop out, and then there was this liner in there. Tried to do the same thing, pierce it and pull it out with the side cutters. Hopefully at this point maybe we'll find like a C-clip or something to drop this out. So let's see what happens. So I'm guessing the reason the actual spindle axle hasn't dropped out is because the bottom bearing appears to be the one that's bad. Maybe that's what's holding it. Does it come from pull out from the top? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess we're going to take it to the press and heat it up and see what happens. See if we can drop it out. All right, guys, after fighting with it in the press, lack of instructions or directions on the internet, I should say, the way the axle comes out is Zerk fitting up and then press it down. We were going the opposite direction, not knowing that we still had the seal on the bottom side. It didn't look like a seal. I thought it looked like a piece of the casting, so it all looked one piece, so I thought it had to come out the other way. But anyway, everything's out. Lower bearing seized, upper one's shattered. The races look pretty good in there, so we're just gonna put new bearings in, new seals. The only questionable thing, this was on the top. Does not show that in the parts diagram. This was the seal that we took out, which, unless, I don't know, normally they're that way, but we pulled it out this way. So I don't know. Again, it's an old Woods RM600. Sat in the barn for 30 years, so there's no telling who's tampered with it and who's messed with it. So we're gonna put this one back together and pull the others off. All right, so we're at the point where we decided just to go ahead and pull all the spindles off. We got 2 out of the 3 off. Third one's frozen as well. Got to remove this gearbox. So I replaced the seal on the gearbox earlier this year, but I never posted a video on it. Only for the fact being that I damaged the seal going back in, and that's why you see wet oil back around there. So I'm going to order a new one of that. We're going to reseal all the spindles. Some of the blade hardware was mismatched and or missing, so might as well do it right since we're here. You know, can't afford any downtime, and that would explain why the tractor was kind of struggling when I'd be mowing. So we'll have all new blades, all new bearings, seals, belts, and hopefully we'll have no issues, at least in the spring. All right, guys, so I got the gearbox off. I got all the spindles off. We are breaking down the spindles right now, popping the seals out, seeing what we need as far as parts. But we're going to do new seals, 2 seals, 2 sets of bearings, each one. We'll clean this back up. We're going to reseal this. Again, like I said, I already did it once, but I damaged the seal going back in. So now that I have the right tools, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll clean everything back up here. And for now, this is going to be part 1. Woods RM600 deck rebuild, new blades, reseal. If you like what you see, click like and subscribe. Wait for part 2.